Uploading, and it will notify us.
Long day, Roman. Just
I know. I got my
just
coffee before that.
I I've never seen such a lot of emotion, a lot of emotion, Roman. And like I said, I don't even have to play this part. I'm so yeah.
I'm absolutely sure we are in high definition, so it takes a little bit time, but we
Totally.
are live. We are live. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Tracy Arms. Let's uh, let's give people a little time just to join. This is live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. Um, Tracy has an update about what transpired today with James Kelly, and we later on we hope to be joined by another guest, another witness to what happened, Eli Evans. But I put a promo out that we were supposed to go live, so there was a little bit of a technical delay. Apologies for that. We're trying to connect with Eli, but we got people who are actually joined the live stream. We'll take questions as we can. Usually these live streams get tens of views, thousands of views actually, while they're being streamed, and I know the people were waiting for that. My first update in the morning actually got I think tens of shares. Probably was seen by hundreds of people already. I need to check the data. I was also running around the whole day. It was a crazy day, but. Um, Tracy, I think the stage is yours. So everybody watched what happened, but don't have the details.
Yes, Roman. So I'm big on TikTok, and I share true transparency of what is going on, especially for people that aren't versed in the law and that have no idea what to expect. Um, I have never. I'm definitely traumatized. I give you really a quick update. James Kelly was going to be my ADA advocate and my paralegal, as I'm a victim of domestic violence, and my ex abuser happens to be a fellow person of the law of the bar, which he has had complete favoritism, and there's been blind eyes turned to the point that I've had to force my children to go to their abusers. I've shown on TikTok openly, not show my children's faces, but show them exactly of what is going on, the travesties of the family court, that we are forcing our children to go to parents that are not unfit. Um, Mr. Kelly showed up and with his recording devices, we entered the court along with my other court watchers in Suffolk County, Long Island, New York. And this was in front of a Judge Alfred C. Graff. And he made Mr. Graff aware that he did have recording devices, and he was my ADA advocate and my paralegal that I hired and retained. And that was it. The judge asked him and told him that he does not allow recording in his court. Uh, Mr. James Kelly did recite the laws that there was allowed recording devices, especially under ADA and paralegal, me retaining him, and that was it. All of a sudden, Mr. Kelly they alerted the court officers, and Mr. Kelly was arrested. Mr. Kelly was nothing but professional, calm, and courteous to the people that were arresting him. And I believe it was the major, as they call her. So, yeah, there is a huge travesty, Roman, and we all know that, and you know that, but people need to be made aware. Can you imagine? I am sitting here as I just drove home for 3 hours in traffic, that us as and like I said, for anybody to think that they're never going to get divorced or they're never going to be in family court, they're fooling themselves, because you have a 70% chance rate of being in family court and your marriage being successful. So eventually, this is what we are all trying to prevent and educate people on what to expect in family court. And judges are getting doing favors. Guardian litem are getting paid off. CPS, we already know about them. So there is no transparency. Once those doors are closed, it's fair game. It is an actual bloodbath. It is worse than Game of Thrones. So it is the judge's word against our words, because you you have a 50-50 shot if whatever your court records are and your transcripts are 100% accurate, and that's a fact. So this is why judges are afraid to have the transparency or cameras in courts, which James Kelly has always been fighting for, and all of us have been.
Yeah. Now, Tracy, listen. People are joining, and hopefully, people will join. More. It's kind of late on our side of the country, but we at least your audience, my audience, we have people from all over the states, right, and actually all over the world. So maybe a couple words as a background. Who is James Kelly? I know him, but what you can say, and I will chime in.
So James Kelly is a huge advocate. Unfortunately, he's a victim of this family court system as well. He is well versed in the law. He is an actual savant. I like to say, and you can't say everybody's a savant, but James can recite stuff, and you know that, Roman, from 1803, or if it was a bright sunny day on exact date. So James has a photographic memory, and he is well versed in the law, and he helps everybody. And he is a huge advocate for cameras in courts, something he has been fighting for, something that just is asking for a simplicity of an openness of listen, we just want cameras in courts. We want sheer transparency of exactly what's going on. But and that's who James Kelly is. He helps anyone and everybody. It goes to the end of the earth. He is a selfless person, and we all know that.
Yeah, and I'm also personally familiar with James Kelly. He's one of the first, I would say, maybe the earliest, or one of the earliest generations of those victims of family court. So he was my inspiration before I went public. I also consulted with him. I saw his bravery, I saw his courage, and I saw his knowledge. He is essentially he could pass the bar, I think, very easily, from my
Absolutely.
experience. And certainly, yes, as you mentioned, he is one of the most knowledgeable experts, I think, in the nation on cameras and courts. He established a very successful Facebook group, unprecedented, I think, in just in terms of the U.S., maybe the world. There was a copycat group after he established that. So cameras in court, I think it approaches 1,000 people, maybe already breached, broke that record, right? So he is definitely very knowledgeable, and he's a person whose demeanor does not suggest anything of remotely reminding violence, right, or any type of threatening behavior. Everybody knows he's a very calm, very. So what's your take on that?
James Kelly is the most passive, he is a Buddha. James Kelly is very calm and tranquil. He is well versed in psychology. We all know that, especially with alienation, and he can recite things exactly. He's like I said, well versed in the law and well versed in psychology and the effects of all this, the doings and the wrongdoings that it has in court with our children.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe just a little more details on what happened. Tell me, or maybe tell the viewers. We are getting audience here. We're getting likes and shares behind the scenes, and we will be taking comments. My goal in these types of transmissions is to be as interactive as possible.
Yeah.
But he was detained on the spot. He was detained or arrested. He was handcuffed.
He was handcuffed. So Roman, it's very sad as a victim to know that is your only chance is James Kelly to make sure your fundamental rights are taken away. And that's purposely for once that I had James Kelly to finally get him on my side in court to make sure my rights weren't taken away, as I have sat in court and I'm the only one not aware of my rights being taken away. The judge knows that it's a bogus motion. The guardian litem knows it's and so on and so forth. So my only hope today was James Kelly to actually make sure that justice was being served accordingly, and that my fundamental rights weren't taken away. So to see it as a victim of being traumatized already with the corruption of court, and now to have an advocate there on my behalf, and as someone I retained as a paralegal to just exactly type up what was transpiring, and for someone to be incarcerated and handcuffed like an animal, or like someone that just did some heinous crime, you know, the most disturbing part, and you think about it, you have people in Manhattan that are bludgeoning these other people off the street, and the cops are having to see them 3 hours later and no bail. So for James Kelly and for Judge Alfred C. Graff of Suffolk County, Long Island, to be so upset, obviously Mr. James Kelly prodded and poked the wrong bear because someone has something to hide. So, and Judge Graff has a horrible reputation of turning a blind eye, and that's just facts. This is not slander, because slander is saying something that's untruth. I speak the truth on my TikTok. Uh, Judge Graff has a horrible reputation of turning a blind eye. The guardian litem that was there today as well has a horrible reputation as well. So these people have a lot to hide. So having James Kelly in the courtroom documenting the wrongdoings that these people wanted to do, it speaks volumes, Roman.
And it was, everything was done in the open, complete transparency, right? Complete, good faith, right? It was again, I just it baffles me, and I'm sure people who will watch that, hundreds of people, will be exposed to that.
Mhm.
He was arrested for what? For 30 days? That's the duration that the judge imposed.
The judge was like, I'm asking you to turn off your recording devices. And Mr. James Kelly was like, I am turning them off. And then he was trying to delete something, as a Judge Alfred C. Graff of Suffolk County, Long Island. I'm going to rephrase that a million times because I want the world to
That's
know.
that's that's your First Amendment right. You are doing this
Absolutely,
reporting
James.
like we're doing.
Absolutely,
It's
Roman. I don't
Mhm.
think I should be calling him whatever, whatever. But no. So Mr. James Kelly was trying to delete the previous whatever recording as he entered the courtroom. Didn't even get past the first chair, and they already knew who Mr. James Kelly was, as he's a force to be reckoned with in Suffolk County, because this is what the courts are afraid of, his knowledge. And then he was trying to turn off his device, and then the judge was forcing him, Judge Alfred C. Graff of Suffolk County, Long Island, was forcing him to delete what he just recorded. Mr. Kelly was saying, "Okay, I'm trying to delete it." And after that, Graff was like, "You know what? Contempt, 30 days incarceration." There was no chance, no opportunity for James Kelly to say, like, "Hold on, it's deleted." You would think he was holding secrets from Russia or something, or Hamas.
Yeah, and you actually, that's another segue. That you mentioned before we went live. So you traveled all over the world, right? You visited how many countries? Have you
I
seen
have
anything like that?
visited. I travel quite a bit for my occupation, and I have traveled to over 72 countries. I have been to Kosovo with fighter pilots fighting on the side of me, to Cambodia, and people wear tires as flip flops as shoes. I have gone to Israel for the last 27 years. I'm very familiar. Back 27 years, and Roman, it was not as open. It was still very communist, and very, everybody was looking over you. Um, I have been to Cuba. I have been to the most communist countries in the world. I have never witnessed what I have witnessed today. It's bad enough I have seen the travesties, but today, for someone to be incarcerated for 30 days, not 3 hours, not a tap on the hand, and let me let you know. So, but yet, my abuser, that happens to be a fellow member of the bar, do you think he's even spent 30 days in jail? Maybe he's been incarcerated 5 times, but never spent 30 days in jail for beating me up or my children up. Where is the justice, Roman? This is what I'm trying to, and you are trying to teach everybody. The
Yeah.
laws differ for people.
What law? There's no law. They do whatever they want.
Well,
We
there's
know
law
that.
if you're a police officer, if you're a fellow person of the bar. There's certain it's a double standard for different people. The laws, if you and I break it, we will be in jail tomorrow, Roman, and that's just a fact. Like I
Yeah,
said, it's justice for some, not justice for all.
yeah. We are gaining viewership here, so that's excellent.
Yes.
Please, everyone who is here, you're welcome to ask questions, add comments. We'll put them on the screen. We'll continue. I think it's not going to be a long stream. We're waiting for Eli Evans, who is still driving home after
Yeah.
a very hard day, exhausting day for sure
Yeah.
for all of us, and especially for you. I can only imagine how emotional it was. But
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I am traumatized. I am completely traumatized. As it's bad enough not having the justice system see through the baloney or whatever you want to call it, the injustice for the victims, and I don't care. I call it parental alienation, or whatever you want to call it, parental gatekeeping. But me speaking as a victim of domestic violence and married to an Alan Kasanoff and someone weaponizing that legal knowledge that he has, and the courts to condone it, it's beyond upsetting. It's beyond how much more damage can you do to a victim. It's continually victimizing people that have actually been physically and mentally abused, Roman. It's beyond an travesty. What I have witnessed today, our freedom of speech is beyond taken.
Yeah, and of course, the recording is part of freedom of speech. Like, how else can you actually report and tell the public what happens in government institutions if you don't record, right? Why should we trust them? We saw so much betrayal in different institutions very recently, right? Not so recently, but especially during the last couple years. So why courts are different? Um, I don't know if you had a chance to be there, but just if I may chime in, there was a Senate hearing. In New York City, in Manhattan, on November 1st, and I was able to come there and record and put all the recordings here. So these people are representatives, same lawyers, just sitting in the legislature, not sitting on the bench. They have no problem, right? If you have members of the other branch, right, the executive branch, like police officers, you're allowed to record them, right, while they
Right.
perform official duties. So what's different with judges? Why should be they given any particular trust? And especially us, victims of family court, and there are men and women, we know that, right? So tyranny doesn't differentiate. We know they should be automatically trusted. Uh, that's the epitome of injustice, right? If there's no way to expose it to the public.
This is exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. What are you hiding? Especially this judge tonight, Judge Alfred C. Graff. What are you hiding? What are you so fearful of having a paralegal? What if I was deaf, disabled? I'm not allowed to have somebody to document this and to be on my side as an advocate. So there's a huge travesty. It is beyond appalling and unjust. You don't do this to animals. For it to be a double standard, and someone just recording gets 30 days incarceration, but yet someone assaulting or doing horrible, heinous things, or SA to Manhattan, they get incarcerated for a few hours and they're out on the street again.
On the face of it, and I have actually the law here, so maybe we'll go at the later stage during the live stream through the law, just to read the text, for the benefit of the viewers, coming from different states. But it's on the face of it, it seems excessive. Excessive. Maybe it's not even the word to describe it, right? Like 30 days. Like, are there less harmful measures for the judge to take? Say, just shut off your devices, give your devices to the officer, leave the courtroom. Stay outside the courtroom. You're not allowed to return. And even if it's not 30 days, okay, so you cool down, for 2 hours, 30 days. What is that? Like the whole range of methods and measures that are available to the judge. That's what he imposed immediately. And I assume I'll ask a rhetorical question, but since it's recorded, it will stay for the public to review afterwards. He was not given the assistance, any assistance of a counsel, right? He didn't have an attorney there.
None whatsoever.
Yep. So where is he detained? Just to be more practical.
I believe Mr. James Kelly is being detained in Riverhead, Long Island.
Mm-hmm. And Yeah, and I know from again, from speaking with you earlier today and with Eli Evans that you actually tried to figure out if he's allowed to post bail, if you could get him
Yeah,
out, but nothing, no option like that
they wouldn't
exists,
do
right?
that. Do you
Hmm.
know, Roman? They are so corrupt, and especially Suffolk County. And I hope you follow Suffolk County traffic guy.
Hmm.
He shows the injustice of just Long Island of and as a fellow member of the bar, at least he calls it the way it is. So you have to give him that credit. But they didn't even give me when I asked to say my own personal order. You give me an order right now, and I was with Eli. You give me an order exactly why you are not allowing me, and you incarcerated him. Do you know that they were pushing the buck? They were like, we don't have it available. Really? I waited 2 hours there for this order. Someone else had it, but I can't have it as a victim. So they
So
would not give me the order.
let me rephrase just and again people are joining and I see comments started flowing in, but you couldn't even get a copy of the order.
No,
That
they
was
would not give it to me.
unbelievable. Of course, it impedes your ability to submit an appeal, to file
Absolutely.
a motion for reconsideration, right? To maybe show it to the public. Yeah, the endless games. We all know that the endless games just to obstruct at every step.
So let
Amazing.
people know of why I am requesting this order, Roman, because a lot of people aren't legal savvy. So let them know of why I was recording, why I requested this order.
Yeah, yeah. Now we have a couple comments, and thank you very much, for those who are commenting and joining. It has to be an interactive live stream, and that's what we need to do. We have the technology now. We have the ability to bypass the media. I know that there was an attempt to reach out to a journalist, local journalist in New York. I'm not sure if this item will be aired eventually, but we're not waiting. At least, that's my approach. We're not waiting on
I'm
anyone.
gonna
We are utilizing our rights peacefully, legally, but relentlessly, right? So we have the
absolutely.
technology now, and the technology will bring this tyranny to its knees where it's supposed to be. That's the advantage we have right now. We need to expose. So let me just read a comment here from Victor. He's saying, "My judge doesn't let court watchers to observe hearings. I'm scared in my coming trial, Dallas County, Texas." Um, I know that Viridiana is also from Texas, so she's saying George Saladana have experience about recording during a hearing procedure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's also Texas. Um, Yes. So RJ Andrews is here, also from Texas. I can say that my case started in the state of Washington, and in the state of Washington, actually, the proceedings in family court are recorded, and you are allowed to have to obtain the camera footage. They give you a CD-ROM, they give you a disc. So the question that I always had is like, if the pretense or the pretext that the tyrants and courts are using is that, oh, we are defending sensitive information, maybe children are involved, even though it's ridiculous because divorce proceedings and custody proceedings are not excluded from public participation. So what's the difference if you have court watchers or you have a camera,
Or
right?
you had
It
a
actually
jury. Or you had a
that's
jury.
that's a separate issue. But what I'm saying, like, how, let's say we go with their pretext for a second, right? How are children in the state of Washington different from children in New York, right? There are other states, actually. I think Nevada, I might be mistaken, but we had a discussion one of my posts recently. They also allow recordings. So what's the difference? What's the difference, right? There can be no excuse for that, right?
No.
If one state protects ostensibly the same interests, right, and it allows recordings, and it records actually what happens, provides it independently to litigants. Why New York is different? It's pure oppression. It's pure tyranny. It's discrimination. Violates the Constitution, the Equal Protection Clause. We can talk about that. Anything that you want to add on this
Because
point?
and I'm born and raised Texan. You know what?
Hmm.
At least it's open there. It's complete. I mean, Texas is a colossal mess too, and I have to admit. But you
Right.
know what?
Hmm.
The New York State is the worst, the most corrupt, and this is why files are sealed. There's no transparency in courts. It just goes on. We live this every day, unfortunately. This is why New York is a huge number one problem. I think out of all the states, Florida is second. I knew you deal with people all the time. I deal with people from all across the states. It's like a disease. It's like a plague, and unless we all speak up, and enough is enough, Roman, and we've been to many things, but enough is enough. We see our cities being taken away and our rights, and we have to pay taxes, but other people from other countries have not spent a day working. but we have to pay taxes. Why are the laws so different?
Yeah, well, that's a big topic that I actually focus on, because what we're seeing, sorry, in family court is part of a much larger picture. Because what America is going through, to me, it's very clear. Like, that's a point maybe we can touch briefly. But you're an American, right? I moved from country to country, and communism always followed me. I was born in the Soviet Union, right? To me, the
Yeah.
parallels are very, very clear. And hopefully more and more Americans are waking up. But it's very clear. It's the same playbook. It's the same playbook. It's subversion through governmental institutions. The communists, actually, the ideologues of communism, they were not hiding it. It's in the destruction of the family is in the Communist Manifesto. And the line that I like to quote from Antonio Gramsci, or at least attributed to Antonio Gramsci, right? It's long march through institutions. That's what they're doing. It's a subverted institution. So they promote political, ideological, actually to some extent spiritual goals, right? Through family court. It has nothing to do with law, with facts, with logic. They just ruin the country. They're breaking the neck of America through family court. That's what's going on through other institutions, but it's very much apparent now. With, as you mentioned, the illegal immigration, right? I had to jump through to be the best in my field. Everything that I did in my life, right? In order to come to this country, legally, pass the GMAT, be accepted to the best institutions, in my home country here. But and you see all that in schools. It's subversion, it's communist subversion, and hopefully people will wake up. So what we are experiencing here, and people in different states, that's part of the same picture. So let me just pull up a couple more comments, if you permit. I'm grateful. We are grateful for participation. So Justice J is saying Louisiana is deadly corrupt, deeply oil field deep. So, and another comment coming that if you bring something that the court doesn't like, the device will be seized and demolished. Yep, same exact thing. Yeah. Deborah is saying, why are millions not protesting like in other countries to take our ads bait? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. But we in New York, we are doing that, and again, we have the right to peacefully gather, peacefully protest, peacefully unite. We have the right to associate peacefully. That's what we are doing. Mothers and fathers, we all, and that's what James was doing today, right? Trying to help you as a father, as an alienated father, wronged by the same court.
Can you imagine someone that's just doing the right thing, an advocate, and just for wanting transparency? We are actually, I cannot believe I am not waking up and I'm not in another country. Someone got arrested because they were recording, and not just a slap and yeah, like you said, a timeout and go outside the court. No, this James Kelly got 30 days. This is just, there are no words, Roman. I am just beyond disbelief if I didn't have to endure this today.
Yeah, we have a couple answers here to Deborah's comment. Justice J saying they are scared people get unalived. I don't know. I'm a God-fearing Jew. We are in time of miracles here, Hanukkah. So you shouldn't be afraid of people. You shouldn't be afraid of other men or women. Be afraid of God and doing the right in God's eyes. So that's how tyranny takes hold. James Kelly is not afraid. And again, that's horrible what happens to him, but he will be free eventually, right? They will silence him through that. No, what's happening right now, we're gaining more publicity, right? This video will be shared by hundreds, hopefully thousands of people. People will know. That's how tyranny seeds the seeds of its own destruction every time, every cycle in history. So no reason to be afraid.
It's fear, absolutely. It's fear, and you got to fear yourself. So Deborah, let me let you know. I heard the my guardian litem today's feelings, because I'm a huge advocate on TikTok and exposing the injustice. So do you know I was warned not to voice and I was just showing evidence of what her reputation was. So I just made a TikTok today, as soon as I got home after this, of I have a challenge. I have a challenge for Judge Alfred C. Graff of Suffolk County, Long Island, and for you, Karen Villar, guardian litem of Suffolk County. You will not get away with this. Now I am back in action, and I will not be silenced, Deborah, and nor should anyone else. You fight for justice and fight for your voice. This is what we are all here for. But to be silent and be afraid that someone's going to out you, or you're going to get in trouble, or what, for speaking the truth, stand united, people. And this is what we're all uniting about.
Yeah. Another line that I like to use, I saw the movie, I know how it ends. This ends in camps. Tyranny doesn't stop. Tyranny doesn't stop. They will decimate us. That's what's going on. So we are again peacefully using our First Amendment because we lost our amendments one by one. We don't have jury trials, right? It's the
No.
Sixth and Seventh Amendment. So, and we are gradually losing the First Amendment as well if we don't utilize it. So, and it will end in complete destruction. It happened in Venezuela, it happened in Russia, it happened in China, it happened in Cambodia, it happened in successful countries, and now it's happening in America. We are just the canary in the mine, but it will happen. It will happen unless we stop and talk about that.
It is slowly happening, Roman, and we see it through everything. And be loud. Yeah, that's right, Sydney. Be loud and speak up. Because you know what? I was very passive for a while, Roman. And you kind of, we all have our time frame that we are afraid to speak up, or you don't really know about the legal system, and you are so naive. And I was so naive because we were born and raised here in America, Roman, that if you break the law, you're going to go to jail. If you don't go to school, or if you don't put your kid in and make your child go to school, there it's called juvie, and the people will come and take you and put you in jail as a parent. No, it is complete opposite. Um, and speak up, because the more you find your power, the more you realize this is just not happening to you. It's happening to thousands of us across the states.
Yeah, across the states and across the world. I you can talk about your audience on TikTok, right? But I see on Facebook people from all over
Absolutely.
all over the world, right? I have people from
UK
Eastern.
has a huge problem. They have rallies every certain times of whatever. I think it's November, um, that I've all joined. But unfortunately, we need that solidarity. And what really gets me is the dividedness. I was on Robert Garza's, speaking to him, and he passed a law of time back. He's an amazing gentleman. And do you know that he told me here in New York, it's pretty much impossible to get anything done because of the corruption. It's so highly corrupt. And these are Robert's words. I joined a Facebook group on Robert's thing of Dad's Talk. Do you
Mhm.
know that just trying to help another fellow human being, I don't care if it was a mother or father, um, the fathers group are like, what is she doing in here? Did she have a transition or whatever? It's not about the sexes, people. This is about unity, because focus on the common denominator, which is the corruption of family court, because eventually you will end up here. So obviously the mothers groups and the fathers groups haven't had great success and accolades. I don't see them marching like Black Lives Matter, the fathers groups, or One Mom's Battle, and all these women marching and shutting down towns. We need solidarity, mothers and fathers, because this is a problem with both sexes.
Absolutely, tyranny will just move from one segment to another. That's
And
what
they
rulers always did: divide and conquer. Yes.
absolutely,
Now
and
now
they
we have
want us,
fundamental.
yeah, and they want us against each other, Roman. They purposely do put fathers against mothers groups to have
Yeah.
that dividedness.
Yeah, I had when I now I don't have my the judge, my tormentor, in my case, Janet McFarland from Reichmond
Good.
County Family Court. Now everything is in person, but when
Good.
we still had the online hearings, even after the insanity of was in full swing, I had mothers who actually tried to join. They were not allowed in. They only allowed males in. So they on purpose they actually divided it. It's unbelievable. I had people, and I'm active. Actually, the
I know you are.
majority of followers on my page are women, right?
Yeah.
Because we all need to be
Yeah.
together in this. They do it on purpose. The courts won't allow people of the other sex, to attend and to show unity here. It's unbelievable. You are getting a compliment here from Viridiana from Texas. She's saying thank you for all the expose in your TikTok.
I
Uh,
know. I love to thank you for following me. And as a fellow Texan, I'm born and raised Texan, 25 years of my life. I love that state. I have to honestly admit, who would have thought Texas law rules over, thank God, stay in Texas. New York is a complete cesspool of corruption, like they say. Absolutely. today was devastating to see my freedom of speech is taken away from you people. And just for recording, another fellow human being got 30 days. It is beyond belief.
Yeah. So we'll go back to the comments. Let's for now talk a little bit of what are the next steps. What do you have in mind? What maybe maybe we share what you discussed with other activists here, parents, alienated mothers and fathers, offline, online. And Alicia, I see your comment here. You're saying F the judge. I won't put it on. It will be watched by people from law enforcement as well. We are completely non-violent, non-threatening. We're just exposing. We're utilizing our First Amendment. But the sentiment I think is understood by everyone here, and we are getting a lot of views here, a lot of likes. Thanks everyone. So, what are the next steps? What do you have in mind?
My next step is I'm not going to go down easy. I am not going to allow this, especially for James Kelly, that helps all of us. James Kelly helps everyone throughout the states. So along with Alicia, Stacy Sonlight letter, I'm going to file against everybody for this travesty. They are not going to get away with this. Mark my words. If I have to, my last breath, and that's one thing with me, there is no gray area. Hell have no fury on my scorn. You do not do this for the injustice. So I will do proper filings. I will have this Judge Alfred C. Graff of Suffolk, Long Island, and Karen Villar accountable. You cannot silence people and arrest them for having the First Amendment or Second Amendment, whatever you want to call it today. So I will go through the proper channels, and with my colleagues, such as you, Alicia, and everyone else, I will file the proper filings to have final justice, because they will not get away with this. They may do this to other people that don't have the strength. Well, Tracy Arms has her strength, Roman, back.
Yeah, excellent. So I see people, who are following me, not necessarily following you, but now they're seeing you, Tracy Arms. So you're predominantly on TikTok, right? But we all need to be cross-platform, because we never know when the censorship will kick in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I'm on TikTok. I'm under Falcon or Jujitsia 9, which is justice in Italian. So please follow me. Like I said, we are all here to help each other. It's so that is my. All right, people. Oh, well, that is my hashtag. It's GIUSTIZA 9 on TikTok, Jujitsia. And I follow many well-versed people in the law, and I speak the truth, and I show exactly the reality. I empower everybody with other information you give, James Kelly gives, Alicia. I always ask Alicia to share that information so I can share it with my viewers. It's about empowering each other, Roman. We all know that. That's the only thing that's the only way we're going to attack this cancer and the common denominator, which is corruption of family court.
Cancer, communism, cancer of communism.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. Yeah. So let's maybe we are 37 minutes. Let's maybe not cross the hour here, but we're getting great engagement. So thank you, people. Thank you everyone for the comments. We're trying to make it interactive and also informative. Justice J is asking, is anyone filing habeas corpus for JK? And that's actually the excellent comment from Alicia. She's saying next step is writ of habeas corpus. You wanna make a comment on that? You want me to chime in?
If you could chime in, but like I said, Alicia Clark is my hero. You're my hero. James Kelly's my hero. And like I said, unfortunately, I'm just coming out of this fog, and that's why I have my second win now. I'm up, and everybody has their time. But I am my for you all to empower me. We are not going to go down, but please, with the habeas corpus.
Yeah. We are, we are making, compliments. It's not what we're fishing here for, looking for. But thank you, Mahmoud Mansour. Thank you. We are doing that. You see, people, different backgrounds, different accents, different origins. But that's it's unbelievable, because oppression again and tyranny doesn't discriminate. It will devour eventually everyone. We saw it time and time. We're just going through another cycle of abject tyranny, global tyranny, worldwide tyranny in history. And we will persevere. It will fall. It's a question how quickly people will wake up, unite, and expose. All that's needed is exposure. As Orwell said, every tyranny stands on two legs, right? And I'm paraphrasing: is violence right, and deception.
Mhm.
Okay, so they have the monopoly on violence, right? We shouldn't go there, but the deception needs to be exposed, and that's the media. We are now our own media. We have the God gave us these technological tools that we need to utilize fully, and recording is one of the tools. That's why they're afraid of it. So far, they didn't ban Facebook. I think everyone who wants to be active on social media on the topic of family court can, and you are the proof of that. I'm the proof of that. Many people who are chiming in. It's excellent. So let's talk a little bit about the next steps. So I know that Alicia is actually drafting a habeas
Yeah,
corpus for James. She's looking for a little more details that are necessary, maybe not necessary. We'll connect after this live. I just wanted to thank you again for joining. For everybody who responded, to just get an update from a from a witness, right? Who
yeah,
invited
no,
actually,
it,
James, to support you, and
absolutely,
it's unbelievable. But other next steps that we discussed is a motion for reconsideration. Appeal has to be filed, in my opinion, right? And we'll do that.
absolutely.
I don't think the court is playing games, as they very often do. They did not provide you with the written
No,
order, but it
they
shouldn't
were
prevent filing an appeal. Uh,
absolutely. You know that they were giving me the biggest runaround, Roman. I
mhm.
just asked. I said, "Listen, this is my fundamental right. I need my order. You give me my order of why James Kelly would and the paralegal that I retained was arrested for 30 days. Give me the order." I waited for 2 hours, and they were like, "We don't have it," and then we gave it to someone else. They didn't want to issue it out to me, and I'm part of this action transaction. So
Yeah,
they're huge games, Roman.
I have now an appeal. I have multiple appeal. I appeal every decision. I
Yeah,
know they very often go nowhere, because that's another huge problem. Because the appellate division, people are delusional. They think the appellate courts don't know what's going on. They think
no,
the federal courts don't know. They all know what's going on. It's part of the same
absolutely.
system. They protect the judges. The judges protect each other, and protect from scrutiny. What are we asking for? We're asking for justice, just to follow the Constitution. Give us better jury trials. Give us the First Amendment, right? So but again, it's a clique. In the Soviet Union, it was called nomenklatura. It's the ruling class, right? Everybody who belongs to the ruling class, they automatically get the maximum protection. From time to time, they throw a bone to the public, but ultimately, it just stays the same. And they don't mind actually paying money afterwards, right? But the goal is to break the children, and
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. So that's because
absolutely.
it's an ideological goal. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that. I have one of the appeals that I have pending actually was filed uh, against a verbal order, an oral order, and the appellate division took upon the appeal. So it's now hopefully will be in substantial adjudication case stage. So they understand everything is very hectic, is very emotional during the stage. So I think appeal needs to be filed. It can be done concurrently,
Mhm.
and all these things that peaceful actions, legal actions have to be taken, potentially a habeas corpus to the federal court. So this is something that we'll discuss after that. Now I'm just checking if Eli Evans, he's driving. He was there with you all day, right? Another great
Yes,
advocate, in the
Jim.
growing.
Yes, they are both tremendous advocates, and they go above and beyond to travel and commute to the different courthouses. I'm immensely grateful for any court watcher, and like I said, I court watch all the time virtually if I can make it. And you know that, Roman. I go to rallies and I sit in courts for hours sometimes. But for them to kind of shut off courts, that's beyond incredulous, and that's against our rights. Like I said, whether there's minors involved or whether there are juries involved, regardless, it has to be an open court, period. It's going to be heard. Um, to not have that transparency. So yes, I think anybody, and I urge everybody, if you can be a court advocate, do so, because it makes a huge difference, Roman, and you know that, because the judges know, the children's attorney know that maybe that Roman is not so well versed in the law, but other people are actually taking notes, and then we report them and add our comments. It makes a world of difference to be a court advocate. So I applaud Jim and uh, and everyone else for doing this and showing up, and Ira and everyone else. It makes a huge difference, like I said.
Yeah, yeah. So we are getting encouragement here. We have over 10 people watching, coming in and out. That's actually respectable. People don't understand, but these are live people. There's a people who
Yeah.
are there's not bots, right? That we are buying and like fake traffic. These are real people. They're victims, and it takes even courage to click. You see the stats on your channel, right?
Yeah.
On your social media, platform. But I'm seeing the stats behind the scenes. So I would say the ratio of people who are actively even clicking, sharing, right, to lurkers, people who are behind the scenes, is probably 1 to 1, 1 to 1, sorry, 1 to 10, 1 to 20. So I have a couple thousand, active followers, right, and I'm grateful for each and every one of them. But behind the scenes, my stuff is being watched by 200,000 people. So
That's
it's
amazing. I
it's
applaud you, and
no,
it
but
makes
that's what I'm saying. I my unfortunately, I couldn't be there with you. Help in a more immediate fashion. But I'm helping spread the information and publicity. Utilize leverage what I have, what I'm blessed with. I was watching the Mayor's Adams live stream on Facebook today. They didn't let me in into his evening event for the Hanukkah candle lighting, and
yeah.
he got 30 people. And that's the mayor of a huge city, right? So 30 people were watching him. We are now, stay just consistently above 10 plus, and again, we're watched, we're shared by people who are not as active and still not ready to be open. But you need to be public. Everyone who watches that now or later, it's very important to share. That's a public that's a service that we'll have to do for us, for our children. I don't want to speak in cliches, but
No,
let's
but
go
yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
but it makes a difference, Roman. You reaching out to everybody, and like I said, the more transparency and the more you're out there, and you do your lives, and you go in front of courthouses, and we're showing it. Jay has Alicia. I love you, Alicia. She is a wealth of knowledge, and she is selfless of all the information Alicia gives. Natalie Gear, you, Roman, James Kelly, Stacy Sonletter is amazing. I mean, these are the movers and shakers, people that are selfless, that give information out. Anything you want. These people are so well versed, and I urge everybody to go to them and seek knowledge in them. So yeah.
Yeah. So there's the more concrete comments flowing in, but we'll reconnect after the stream. That's more for the general public, people from other states, people from other countries who will watch that, and people watch it from other countries for sure. Again, as you mentioned, right, people from English-speaking countries, it's the same playbook everywhere: Australia, UK, New Zealand, right, Canada. It's all the same. But even non-English Israel is the same. Bulgaria is the same. Romania is the same. Example that I give: Japan, father from Japan joined, no due process, nothing there as well, because it's a global program. We see different prongs of the same program in schools, in transitioning of children. It's unbelievable. But that's that. Once people wake up, it will end, and it's the very much part. It's up to us to help with the great awakening.
True.
Okay, so Alicia is saying that he needs to be processed. She last she heard in the evening there was still processing. That's another part of this insanity, right? If a person is arrested, handcuffed, they will be usually immediately brought to a judge. There's a court in Manhattan that functions 24/7, right?
Absolutely.
And here you don't have an opportunity to bail him out, right? He has no criminal record, right? He's just a father. He's the mildest person ever, right? He's I think he's in his 50s. He's very calm, very pleasant, very intelligent, very soft spoken. You and I can be more energetic, I would say, emotional, right? But James Kelly, he's the epitome of
Never.
calmness. Unbelievable.
Mellow
Unbelievable.
mannered, well reserved, even, and I'm telling you, in the court. I heard it with my own ears. This is verbatim, Roman.
Mhm.
Judge was like, incarcerate 30 days. I already asked you to turn off your devices. Meanwhile, Mr. James Kelly was trying to delete the message, the video or recording that Judge Graff requested patiently. James Kelly was like, okay, no problem. They're like, contempt. And you can hear the handcuffs on James Kelly. He's like, excuse me, thank you very much. Total gentleman, James Kelly. Even while he's getting arrested, use his manners and calm. Didn't even, just a very mellow, okay, thank you very much. That's what was exact words. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, he's
Was it?
very It's unbelievable. It just again, we're just repeating it ourselves at this point. But I wanna move to another topic that I had in mind, just to have it as a more concrete educational conversation. So I have the law here. So I understand that he was arrested for summary contempt, right? That was the language used, if you remember, maybe.
Um, it was I just heard contempt.
Uh
He
huh.
didn't say, the judge did not say summary. It was just
Yeah.
I'm holding you in
I,
contempt.
Okay, so maybe we'll get the facts later on as you and others who are helping will prepare the legal documents. But summary means essentially on the spot, right? And it seems that what applied here is the following provision or substantially similar. So we can go through that together, just to highlight a couple topics from a legal perspective of what we were just discussing, right? So
Yeah.
the power of court to punish summary contempt committed in immediate view shall be exercised only in exceptional and necessitous circumstances as follows, right? So where the offending conduct either disrupts or threatens to disrupt proceedings actually in progress. So how recording is disrupting proceedings? He was not doing it with the camera in the face of the judge, right? He was
Nope.
probably, recording is essentially passive observance through a device. It's not a
He,
disruption.
he didn't even get to that,
Mhm.
Roman. He didn't even get to his recording. I didn't even get to see his recording devices. He was only taking it out of his bag. It didn't even
Yeah,
get to the point like he had it like News 7 or whatever or CNN on his at a boom mic and everything else. Absolutely not. Mr. Kelly barely had the opportunity to take it out of his bag.
right.
It was the
So
thing of Judge Graff was so upset that because Mr. Kelly was completely transparent. He's like, Your Honor, I am recording. And then you hear a guy in the background, another court officer, saying he's recording. And
yeah,
then
so that's
that was it.
So I want to emphasize this point because there has to be a disruption or threat to disrupting the proceedings. Recording is not a disruption of a proceeding, right? If you do something, if a person, again, we might be quoted here, right? But that's all hypothetical. If somebody turns the table, right? If somebody, just does something, outwardly, right, violent or something that expressive behavior in the courtroom, that might be disruption. Recording, holding the phone, that's not a disruption. There are many proceedings that are recorded. Again, recorded by the court and also permitted to be recorded, even in New York, right? Trump's trial. So, what's the problem? That's not a disruption. It disrupts the ability to violate our rights. That's what it disrupts, right? But there's no disruption in the act of recording. Now, the second subsection that could potentially be applied is destroys or undermines or tend seriously to destroy or undermine the dignity and authority of the court. And that's the crux of the matter, right? The authority of the court. So we are the serfs, we are the servants, we're the peasants, right?
Mhm.
And the authority of the court, that's what the judges are trying to protect here, right? The authority, the ability to do whatever they want. There's no dignity, there's no disruption to dignity, right? There's more dignity in being transparent and showing that you are actually preserving justice, right? You're allowing due process. What would you say?
No, absolutely. I mean, this is the problem. I'm reading through your paper, your Westlaw right now.
Yeah,
Yeah. If it was in a violent state, like I said, there's a time and a place, Roman. But for someone that was barely even taking out his recording devices to just to, it is beyond disbelief to be arrested for 30 days for not even, I didn't even get to see it. And I was in the court. I didn't even get to see his recording devices. Uh, all I heard was, "Excuse me, thank you." And that's James Kelly's tone. "Thank you very much." Okay, no problem. That was
yeah,
it.
yeah. I
In,
can hear
in
his voice
monotone.
completely mild. It's unbelievable to arrest James Kelly.
No,
You can see his videos. He's very public as well, right? You see the
absolutely.
manners of the man.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. But there was no disorderly conduct or anything. Like I said, it's amazing how my ex-abuser can get disorderly conduct for strangulation or child abuse. That's a misdemeanor, but and maybe one night in jail at the most. But yet, and that's real assault. Talk about intent to kill. But yet, James Kelly gets 30 days. It is beyond belief. This could happen to you. This could happen to me. This could happen to all our viewers out there.
absolutely right. Let's go through the language like a little bit just for the highlights, and I'm citing here 22. That's the chapter of CRR New York 604.2. It's on Westlaw, but you can just Google it. Judicial exercise of contempt power. That's what we're looking through. So another clause that has to be established by the court is as follows: the court reasonably believes that the prompt summary adjudication, so on the spot adjudication decision of contempt may aid in maintaining or restoring and maintaining proper order in the courtroom. Was there a need to arrest James Kelly in the courtroom? Couldn't the judge just say, just step out, Mr. Kelly, okay, give your phone to the court officer, it will be returned to you later on? Was there a reason in order to maintain the order that wasn't disturbed in the first place, right, to handcuff this man?
There was absolutely none, and there was witnesses there that there was no right for this kind of a sentencing, and that's exactly what it was. You're sentenced for 30 days incarceration. There was zero, and there was many witnesses that witnessed Mr. Kelly's anything violent behavior or much as raise his voice. And like I said, I didn't even get to see him take out his video equipment. So there was this is beyond injustice. What this judge did was beyond indespicable and beyond his capacity. There is no reason, and unless this judge is hiding something, right?
Because they all are hiding. Apparently, recording, is punished in every court in New York State. What are they hiding? What are they hiding? The most sensitive topic that we have, the children, right? It has to be super vigilantly supervised by the public, right? And that particular area is hidden from sight.
No.
How is it possible, right? We know why, because there's much sinister issues going on. That's topic for another program. We'll just stay in high level here, reasonably high level.
Yeah, I'm reading this, and nothing applies to what what this punishment was justified for. None of this of CR 22 absolutely applies to Mr. Kelly. It was completely wrong and unjust. This is worse than police brutality. This is judge brutality.
Yeah, you might even say that the contempt of law was done by the judge, not by James Kelly.
Absolutely.
So let's go just a little bit, because I see that once we started talking about, maybe people are just tuning in, or maybe people are more interested now curious to hear about the actual legal infrastructure. So let's just go. I just want to highlight a couple of things because I read it. By the way, I'm not sure if the person would be comfortable with me sharing his name, but there's another attorney. I'm not a licensed attorney in New York, but I used to be a lawyer. Actually, I did practice law in Israel before that. I thought I wanted to get out of the profession. I was dragged back in, courtesy of family court. But there are lawyers. They again, tyranny devours everyone. So there's another lawyer in New York who actually highlighted this for us, and they don't care. They don't care. They will eat. The tyranny will eat eventually everyone who gets into its jaws. So let's just go through a couple other clauses that has to be established by the court. Whenever practical punishment should be, wherever practical punishment should be determined and imposed at the time of adjudication of contempt. However, where the court deems it advisable, the determination and imposition of punishment may be deferred, it should do so, right? And then it says, before summary adjudication of contempt, the accused shall be given a reasonable opportunity to make a statement in his defense or an extenuation of misconduct. My understanding, nothing of that happened, right? He was just handcuffed on the spot and taken through the tunnels. We don't still know where exactly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is worse than, like I said, somebody doesn't like the way you look. You know what? I'm going to hold you in contempt, Roman, because I just don't like the way you look. You know what? I know, but you know what? You're going to get not just a slap on the wrist. I'm going to incarcerate you for 30 days just for bringing in a camera in my court, because I have something to hide. It's beyond belief. It is beyond belief that this happened today.
Yeah, the power of contempt, we should argue, we need to argue that's unconstitutional, right? Especially in
Absolutely.
cases
Should have
like
this power.
like this. But it is reserved for exceptional circumstances when the person is actually actively undermining the process of law, maybe dashes toward the judge, right? God forbid, or does something threatening, right? Then you can potentially, there's no other way to restrain the person. But that's not the case. That's not the case. It was a pure exertion of power, right? That's my understanding.
Absolutely. It was absolutely. That's exactly what it was. And
Yeah.
this was an abuse of power today. What happened, what transpired, is beyond a travesty. And this is what what we need to tell all Americans. They think our rights are taken away right now with us not having a voice with our cities and what's going on. Well, enjoy family court once you get into it, because eventually you are. That your voice is silent. You don't have freedom of speech. You don't have the right to bear arms, whether that's a video device or whatever. This is exactly. And if you have to be fearful of recording or you're going to be incarcerated, are you serious? What world are we living in, Roman? Seriously.
Yeah, I want to clarify this last part because I'm familiar with the legal argument. It's very innovative, very interesting legal argument that James Kelly is making in his filings and his videos, which needs to be clarified. Right? You might agree or disagree, but that's a very interesting take of that on that. He is saying that what is the Second Amendment essentially? The Second Amendment is one of the tools that the founding fathers of this great nation, the greatest nation on the greatest country on earth. I still believe it. I lived in different countries, and like you, I traveled the
You know,
world. We still have the Constitution. People flock here, right? Because we still have the Constitution. Constitution what make this country great. But the Second Amendment was designed by people who fought tyranny, won tyranny. They defeated the monarch, right, an absolute ruler. It was done in order to restrain potential tyranny. One of the tools to restrain tyranny is arms, and we are not advocating for anything. You and I
no,
know the people we associate with, we are completely peaceful. So what James Kelly is saying that the newly developed technology. By the way, the weapons at the time were also part of newly developed technology. It was democratized, and instead of building a large fleet, you can empower people. Right? That's what we have right now. So technology and cameras
it's
are
cameras.
tools. Yes, they're absolutely right. So there are tools essentially to curb the power of the government. That's his argument about the Second Amendment. Yeah, nobody has in mind to,
No,
God
no, no,
forbid,
no.
you
Thank you.
bring anything even remotely, potentially
No, no,
harmful.
no.
That's
They,
that's 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 a notional argument. That we
yeah, yeah.
it's very sad that we need to clarify that. But
Yes.
I know that I'm closely followed by people from the courts. You probably are. All of us are targeted, right? So we
Yeah.
need to be very clear. Again,
No,
it's
no, no.
peaceful and relentless. Yep.
Right?
Okay.
Second Amendment, which is a camera. It could be an etch a sketch, if they want to get technical. And because I had my guardian litem threaten me of freedom of speech because I just viewed and I shared with my viewers exactly evidence. Like I said, if maybe she should kick her own tail because she did it to herself as a bad attorney. And obviously, people have write your reviews on these attorneys, write them up, hold them accountable, people, because you don't speak up and you don't actually write something down. And like I'm going to write this with everyone else's assistant, then this judge is going to get away with it. Who's to say it's not going to happen to anyone else? If I just turn a blind eye, I can say, you know what? Maybe someone else will take care of it, Roman, or I really don't want to get involved. Imagine if I had that attitude and everyone else does. We have to all speak up, people, and speak
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Let's go through a couple other paragraphs here, and we crossed the hour. Even though we are watched, thank you everyone. Please comment, please share as much as you can. I just want to highlight from the legal perspective what happened today and how, on the face of it, prima facie, right? Prima fascists, how clear it is that what was done to James Kelly is illegal, unconstitutional, completely retaliatory, right? And just a full exertion of power. Why he was jailed for 30 days? Because the judge could do it. Why? Because we can. That's the only reason, right? So let me just highlight a couple issues here. In all other cases, unless again the physical restraint was the only measure, to prevent disruption for the court. In all other cases, notwithstanding the occurrence or the contumacious conduct in the view and presence of the sitting court, the contempt should be adjudicated at a plenary hearing with due process of law, including notice, written charges, assistance of counsel, compulsory process for production of evidence, and opportunity of the accused to confront witnesses against him.
Okay, so
Nothing.
translate that for all of us, Roman.
So unless the judge had no other means to stop the behavior that was so outrageous that required the finding contempt and handcuffing the person, right? The default should be a full plenary hearing. It should be a full due process, mini process within the process, in which the accused, like James Kelly, would be given full assistance of counsel, due process, ability to question witnesses, ability to make statements, produce notices, produce evidence. Nothing of that happened. The judge said
No.
essentially, right, in essence, that you know what, you're just going to the
No.
corridors there, down to the basement for 30 days.
This is just like I said, and for anybody tuning out, just tuning in, let me tell my story, Roman, again, once again. So basically, I had a well-versed legal advocate here in New York, James Kelly, which assists everybody and is a well-versed savant in the law and psychology. Was there to be my paralegal and my ADA advocate as I'm a victim of domestic violence, and I had to view and sit next to my abuser. So Mr. Kelly was there just to, as my paralegal, to document everything and make sure my fundamental rights weren't taken away as usual, because I'm the only one. And that's the thing. Lawyers know the law, but you as a victim are so traumatized, you are in a completely different state of mind. And you're thinking of something else, of as your abuser knows what you look like or whatever else. So Mr. Kelly came in, let the judge know that he was here as my paralegal to record the ongoings of this court appearance. And Judge Alfred C. Graff of Suffolk, Long Island County was not having it, with a guardian ad litem, Karen Villar. He was actually, Mr. Kelly showed his camera and he said, Your Honor, I'm recording, I under so-and-so, so-and-so. And Judge Graff didn't like that and it was like, you put that away and delete it. Whatever, obviously, why would a judge ask anybody to delete things, a court proceeding? There was no children involved inside the courthouse. There were no names given. So Mr. Kelly showed that he was trying to delete. The judge got impatient and was like, you are in contempt, 30 days incarceration. Just for not even breaking out his cameras, just barely having maybe a few seconds on his recorder. That was it.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of engagement here, so thanks everyone for joining. Again, my comparison is Mayor Eric Adams, the mayor of a huge city with millions of people, is getting 30 people on his live stream. We are not far from that, and thank you. That shows that this problem is immense. It's immense. That's breaking the neck of America. So we need to keep exposing. I want to, we crossed the hour, even though we have people, chiming in and tuning in. But I just want just to cover briefly, because it seems to be interesting for the audience. I want to cover briefly two other moments from the law, from the text here, if you permit. So one is saying that that's a subsection C. The judge, to paraphrase, the judge should warn the accused person of potential contempt, and it says it should give the person an opportunity to desist before adjudicating him in contempt. So so that didn't happen, right? So there was no opportunity. You're saying that he was in the middle of deleting his recording. That's your recollection.
Yes, my recollection and the witnesses that observed this exactly. Mr. Kelly exactly was, in his words, I am trying to find it. And Mr. Kelly is a little older and wears glasses, as we all know. So he was trying to find it and delete it. And the judge was impatient, and that was it. 30 days incarceration for recording. It is just beyond disbelief.
So that's actually, that proves, if we need any other proof, right, that this whole action was taken as in complete retaliation, right? If you don't give the person who you attempt to hold in contempt an opportunity to rectify, right, to move, maybe to leave the courtroom, right, and you just incarcerate him on the spot for such a long period of time, or any period of time for that matter, right? It shows that you are just abusing your power. You have the power. I'll show you who's the boss here. Exactly. So the judge showed us all who is the boss here.
Absolutely, 100%.
But the problem is it's illegal. The problem is it's not according to the law. So
this is where we have to stop it, Roman. This is where the buck has to end here. They cannot do this to people. Continue.
Yeah, and the final point that I want to make here, based on the text of the law that I just put on the screen, is that had the judge acted according to the law, and let's say he was mad at James Kelly, right? Yeah. But he would afford him the real true due process. He was supposed to just defer it, just maybe move him out of the courtroom, but have a separate hearing for James Kelly. That separate hearing would have taken place in front of another judge. That's another law. So he not only he wanted to punish him on the spot, right, to the maximum extent possible, reasonable in his mind, right, but he wanted to do it himself,
Yeah.
which is also that's not what the law had in mind, and it's unbelievable. So the preference for appeals, these appeals on these cases on consideration for contempt should be heard expeditiously. And again, to rephrase, that's one of the goals that you have in mind. After we finish the show, we'll reconnect offline. We'll try to exchange drafts, and because we need to help each other and free James Kelly.
We have to free James Kelly, and people speak up and speak out. Like I said, with the not having solidarity and not speaking up and being afraid to write about your judge or write about other people and incidences. This I don't care if I have to be writing 24 hours a night. This is going to happen, and they will hear from me. This is not going to go unnoted. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Along with your help, Alicia, Stacy Sonletter, many others, this is not going to happen. James Kelly helps everyone. We have to get him out. This was unlawful. This was an abuse of authority and power, and this was definitely vindictive, Roman, especially in Suffolk County, as they are fearful of James Kelly.
Suffering County. We need to give them names. Cook County, Crook County, Richmond is in Richmond, or Reichmond, and yeah.
Well, there's other names I could give that county and court and people. But listen, I'm nice right now. But like I said, no, it was a true vindictive move by the whole court system, especially they had it out for Mr. Kelly. Absolutely. What happened today? Like I said, you would see in another third world country, Roman. It was complete. I have seen a lot of stuff. Kosovo and Bosnia during the war, I've seen a lot of bad things. What I witnessed today was almost in the same travesty of that category when people were at war. This was, I'm speechless of what is actually going on. And now I've already been victimized, but actually seeing someone incarcerated for recording and not just one day, Yeah.
No, so let's, I think we need to wrap it up. Thanks everyone. We'll just go quickly to the comments just to acknowledge people who participated in the live. Nevin, thank you very much for joining in. He said it happened to him as well last month. I assume the same retaliation, coercion, abuse of power.
Write them up. Write up these drafts. Ask Roman, because when I get started and we all get started and freeing James Kelly, we will, Roman and everyone else will be free to give your information to sue the crap out of these people. That's it.
Yeah, we have
each other. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have a comment from a great father from Texas saying that now you're learning. You means I assume everyone here, that it can and will happen to everyone. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. On the private instance and also global instance, other countries were subverted and went from being wealthy to complete communist hellholes. And it's happening here unless we collectively expose and stop it.
And we need to speak up. That's the problem. If we don't speak up, Americans and New York and everyone else, Texas and all the other states, we are going to allow. We already see what's going on. Our country is just diminishing and dwindling. And everyone, whether you're red or blue, they're both guilty. They don't care about the people. Our rights have been taken away. And unless we speak up, it's going to take these rednecks with the shotguns to say we're taking our power back, period. Our courts back, our country back, and that's it.
Well, that's a deeper conversation. In my personal opinion, the government is inciting a civil war here, but
Absolutely.
we shouldn't go there. We shouldn't go there. We shouldn't do what they expect us to do. We should remain peaceful, but very, very forceful and relentless. And that's what James Kelly is doing. Completely peaceful, exposing it all. And he was for peacefully exercising his rights, your rights, everybody's rights, right, to supervise our public officials, servants, so-called servants, who behave like complete rulers and plantation owners, right? In this case, we just saw with the law, yes, he got incarcerated and is now in jail throughout the holidays, right? Christmas and
30
New
days.
Year's. It's unbelievable.
But you can go beat an old lady up in Manhattan and be arrested, and 2 hours later you're out beating someone else or robbing them. Where's the justice? People, wake up.
Yeah.
But yet James Kelly gets arrested for a recording device and didn't even completely get to completely fulfill. And no, outrage.
Yeah. So just a couple other comments before we close the stream for now. So Monica is quoting here United States federal quote prohibition of retaliation and coercion. Thank you very much. That's a great reference. Alicia is asking me to send the document. I will. That's the power of contempt that was abused here very clearly, in my and Tracy's opinion. Eli Evans couldn't join in. I see he was with you the whole day. He was supportive. He was not a supporter. People need to court watch for each other. It's very important. We need to, this publicity, please share. It's very important so people know look at us. We are reasonable people, right? We are not insane. We are not crazy. We're educated people. I have 2 advanced degrees. You are well-versed, well-traveled person.
Yeah.
I have an accent. You are pure American.
Yeah.
We are normal people, right?
Absolutely.
Who are driven into abnormal situations by abnormal judges and abnormal courts. Am I correct?
Absolutely. It's not like we have nothing better to do on a Tuesday night. No,
Right.
Absolutely. Or be on Facebook or TikTok. We have many things. We all have occupations and other things that we do. But unless you have, unless you unfortunately enter this so-called family court, especially like I said, in Supreme and everything else. But the bottom line is family court, and we have to hold these judges and guardian litigants all accountable. That's the bottom line, because they are destroying and they're getting away with it. Unless we speak up and have unity and have, you and I have been in many rallies, Roman. Unless we have solidarity, they don't care if I've taken off work, and I have. I actually have a job, but I've taken off to be in solidarity with my brothers and sisters up in Albany or whatever, holding posters. And if it's, sometimes we're a little rowdy, and sometimes when 99% of the time we are peaceful, and that's what our rallies are about. But it's bringing recognition to the injustice from Catherine Kasanoff to Alan Kasanoff, and judges and people doing favors. It has to stop.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. So thanks everyone for watching. Apologies if I wasn't able to acknowledge everyone who joined, but we certainly appreciate and love everyone, each and everyone. I know that people will watch. We got a great engagement, great many comments here throughout the live stream. I know it will be shared based on past live streams by hundreds of people, hopefully thousands. So please share. People need to know this is New York, right? And New York, quintessential American state. The Statue of Liberty is here, and look what we are going through. An American, a calm, peaceful, knowledgeable American is getting arrested at the whim of a judge.
For being silenced for transparency. You get incarcerated for 30 days for showing transparency and freedom of speech, or Second Amendment. Yes. So speak up.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your bravery. We'll provide updates throughout the day. Tomorrow, we need to finish the live stream and actually get working on the documents to try to get James out of the clutches of the regime. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll sign off here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rowan. Be well, everyone.
Thank you, Tracy. Bye-bye.